Hi there guys, Tony here from Caveman Props. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you may have noticed that last year I did a tutorial on the Doctor Who Dematerialisation Circuit. It's quite a mouthful. And if you aren't a subscriber, the big question is why not? But if this is your first time watching, go back and check that video out. If you are a fan of Doctor Who, you may have realised that just recently the dematerialisation circuit showed up again in the old design, albeit slightly smaller. Michelle Gomez held it, and so did John Sims. I just wanted to quickly show you, this was the one that I built based on the two Doctors. No, sorry, it was the Three Doctors anniversary special. That's when it first appeared. So what I'm planning on doing, I built this all from junk pieces that I found in the workshop. I'm going to head into the workshop again, we're going to have a look around at some pieces, and I'm going to try and rebuild this in the miniature version that was seen. So I've got both versions of it. So we're going to head off now and have a look and see what we can find. Okay, I've had a quick look about, and I've managed to find my starting point. I've got this blue marble. I actually think this is plastic and not a glass marble. If you may remember, I used a marble on the last one. That's this size marble. So obviously we're going for the miniature version, so we're going smaller. So I've got myself a smaller marble. And looking at the pictures, the ball in the middle was a little bit bigger than what was used before, so this is going to be quite good. And I managed to get some tube in here. This actually I got hold of this, it's the middle tube from a receipt roll in the shops. I got a few of these from somewhere I was working. It is just short of 1.3 centimetres in diameter. If you have a look in the hardware shops, you'll probably get some tubing the same size as this. I just happen to have this already here, so I've used this and I've cut it into about 2 centimetre long pieces. So I'm going to be using the same principle. I'm going to be using my spray and the glue, and I'm going to be sticking these parts to the marble to create the centre shape that I'm after. So I'm going to crack on with that and show you that bit. Okay, right, I've got my bits ready. I've got another piece of tube in here. I'm literally just using this to hold the marble still so it doesn't roll away. I'm going to be using my super glue and reactor spray. So what I'm going to do to start with, I'll walk you through this. I'm going to spray the marble, my reactor spray, and I'm going to put super glue on this piece of the tubing, right, a little ball piece, and then just push the tube in to the marble. Hopefully, there you see that starts to stick. And then what I'm going to do, add some more glue around these bits and hit it with the spray. That's going to fill in the little gap bits for me and hopefully create a stronger bond. I had a slightly thicker super glue last time I did this, and obviously be careful because I've just glued my finger to the marble. Yeah, I had a slightly thicker glue, so this one's quite runny and moving quicker away. But we seem to have got that on with a little piece of my finger. But that'll be alright because the other pieces will go around that. So I'm going to get on with that, stick the other 3 pieces on, and then we've got our central piece ready to go. Okay, so I've got those bits of tubing put on now. That's all coming together. And as you can see, I've kind of got into a space where this is going to be the bottom. These are 3 bits sticking out. This is going to be the top bit, because any other way round just doesn't really work. So that's kind of something you feel as you're putting it together which way round it's going to go. So now we've got this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out the back. I'm going to put it on a piece of doweling rod that I've got. Hopefully that'll stay on quite nicely. It's going to get a spray of green paint to begin with. Obviously that's going to have to be left a day to dry, and then we'll mask off the ends and we'll spray it silver tomorrow. So I'm going to get this painted up now and we'll look at some of the other bits. Just to give you a quick update, the green paint that I was using wasn't taking to the plastic tubing that well, so what I've done is I've sprayed it with a plastic primer that I have, so I'm going to let that dry and then paint it green. It should only take a few minutes to dry. While that's going on, we're going to look at some of the other bits, and I'm going to look at the main round bits on the end, and for that I'm going to be using EVA foam. That's what I used in the last build, the larger one. Obviously cutting a perfect circle out of EVA foam is not easy with a scalpel. I've tried it a few times. The best way of getting discs cut out of this is to use something to physically cut it out with. This is a lid from a drink, and basically what I've done is I've just gone around the edge with a little bit of sandpaper just to sharpen the edges. It doesn't have to be terribly sharp, and then we basically push it to the foam and turn it a few times, and once it's gone in, just got turning, and you should hear when it comes through. Quite almost there. Yeah, there we go, and we get a perfect little disc, about the right size that we're after. So I've already cut a couple of these out. I think I need one more, and that's that bit ready, and we can add these to it once it's all painted up and add the decorations to it. Okay then guys, I've given this a whole day to dry. It's come out quite nicely. The green's come out quite well, but we only really need this little bit green. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to be using some masking tape and very carefully just coming in just a fraction on each one. I'm going to tape that up so it's all covered nice and evenly like that, and we're going to do that on all of them, and then this bit's going to be sprayed silver, and when this comes off it will be silver with just very green on the ends. So obviously I've got my masking tape already. I'm going to try and do it, I am doing it roughly. I'm going to try and get each one about the same and try and get it even as it goes round. That one went on a lot better. So I'm going to get the other two done, get this out, get it sprayed, and obviously then leave it another day. So on day 3 hopefully we'll be able to get the finishing done. Okay, I've got those bits sprayed up now, so they need to be left to dry. I'm going to quickly show you these bits which I did yesterday as well. On the top of these sections right in the middle is another little raised bit, the same colour, it's going to be the green, in the middle there. In the last build I used some green drawing pins or thumbtacks, whatever you like to call them. So I pulled the box out again hoping I'd find some more green ones to go in there, and I only had 2 of them, which is obviously a little bit upsetting. So I put 4 white ones into a scrap piece of foam, sprayed it with the primer, sprayed it with the green, and they've come out, and these will obviously match even slightly better. So the beauty of these are, once I've found what I believe to be the middle, they can just be pushed in and then sit in there like that. So I can do that on all 4, and that's ready to go, and then they just need some little screws to go in the side there. Okay then, I finished off the detailing on these with some little miniature brass screws. These are supposed to be for adjusting the circuit. These are literally just tiny little brass screws that I've just pushed in with my screwdriver, screwed into the foam, and they've stayed. I'm not sure how many screws there should be. When I got my pack out I only had 6 of them left, and because I set myself the challenge that this was going to be built from stuff that I had laying around in the workshop, I felt a bit bad if I was going to go out and buy a new pack specifically for it. So I went with the 6, 2 of them have got 2 in, 2 of them have just got 1 in. So I'm going to move them aside for the moment, and I'm going to look at the the rest of the detailing for once it goes together. And looking at the pictures, there's obviously wire bits on the side when I did the original one. So it'll be two twisty pieces and then a bead in the middle. Now on the miniature one, this bead is silver, slightly more round, and I kind of lucked out again. A little while ago my daughter broke a bracelet that she had, and it has all these tiny little plastic beads, which are about the right size for what I need. I've got a piece of wire. This is what I'll be using on the rest of this. This is the wire that came from picture hook set, so I'm hoping I've got enough here to do the whole thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to thread 6 of these onto this wire, so I can hang it up, and then they're going to get coated with a shot of the silver as well and left to dry, and then hopefully tomorrow for day 3 we can do assembly and it will all be finished. So I'm going to get these sprayed, and then we're going to have to wait for tomorrow. Okay, so we've left the silver to dry, and this is what we've ended up with, and now this is ready for these bits to start being glued on. So I'll try give that a go. Start with a small amount of glue. It starts coming. The edge of that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try and judge out the middle. Just like that. So we're going to crack this on, get the other ones on, and then it's going to be ready for the final details. Okay then, right, so we're on the homeward stretch and we're going to start finishing. Okay, I've started cutting my bit of wire. To start with, I need 6 straight pieces. These will go one in between each of one of these. It will curve, but I need it to bend into the foam a little bit. So I've kind of measured it that if it fits between those 2 bits, once I've curved it and put it in, that should be fine. Obviously I need 6 of them, one to go on each one, and then next to that is going to be a little coil one, and obviously I need 12 of them because there's one either side. I just need to make one more, and I'm going to show you how I made that. Obviously these need to be roughly the same length once it's coiled. So I'm using one of my mini screwdrivers, working out how much I need before the coil starts, putting that on there, and then curling that round. Once I've got that on, straightening that bit up, and then coil round this a few times to create that coil. Keep measuring it off against the other one. I'm going to put one more in it. There we have it. So that will measure up, and then we'll find my cutters. Cut that off. Obviously it only needs to be roughly because we need a bit to stick into the foam. So there we go. So it gives me 12 coils like that. Obviously the beads have been done, they're all nice and silver now. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to super glue each one of these into the middle here. I've done a few spares just to be safe. It's always safer to have spares. So I'm going to stick the beads onto the middle of these ones, and then we can start the assembly. Okay, so now we're going to start the assembling. I've had a little go at it and I've discovered a few problems. One, because this is quite a smaller one, it's quite fiddly for me to try and hold the wire and get it in. So I've been having to hold the bead, which the glue wasn't quite dried yet, so it's coming off. Also some of my measurements were a bit off, so I've had to cut some other wire which is slightly thicker, and I'm using that to go around the bottom sections. So I'm going to do this one for her. What I've been discovering is I take the wire, get the slight bend in it, put the bead on it at one end, and then I've got room to kind of hold, so I can get it in back of the foam there. curve it round, hopefully without it sticking through the front. Get it into that piece of foam. And what I can do is I can move this bead round and get it to almost middle. A little bit of glue on there. And push the bead into place, and then hopefully that will set. So as you can see, I've done the 3 bottom ones there, and I've done the 2 coil ones here. The coil ones seem to be a bit better because I've left them a little bit longer, and that's just a simple case of putting it in next to the bead, slightly thinner wire so it's easy to bend, and get that in either side. Some of these need opening up a little bit just to get right. So it goes into the side and in the bottom there. It's coming out there. So we kind of get that effect working our way around. So we're going to do that with this one, and then put the other beads in, and hopefully then that is the job complete. Okay then, so I've finished all the detailing on that, put all the coils and the beads around that, and that makes the prop now finished. I still think I've made it a little bit bigger than it should have been, going by the pictures on the original. Also, Rubber Toe Replicas have just released the pictures, because obviously they made the original, and you can get one from them. Their one is going to be 100% screen accurate, but if you fancy having a go at making it yourself, you can give this a go. I think this came out pretty well and still looks quite good. What I'm going to do is, for my competition this year, I'm going to be giving this model away that I've made in the tutorial. All you have to do is obviously be a subscriber to the channel, and then you need to head on to my Facebook page. I'll put the details on. If you scroll down, there'll be the link where I've shared the making of this video. What you need to do is you need to share that onto your page, and then just comment in my one that you've done it, just so I know that who has and who hasn't. If you've watched this through a friend sharing it, you need to go to my page and share it from there and comment, otherwise I won't get the information. I'm going to be drawing the winner towards the end of the year, probably in November. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning this one, just go and share the video. If not, have a go at making your own one. I'd love to see it. You can send me pictures as well. I'll put the email address in. And happy making, people, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.